How you guys doing today? Good. Well, I think, the message to the players after the scrimmage was, now's the time to get ready for the season. Every practice is important. Every game is important. Got to get ready for the task at hand, develop the right habits. It leads to confidence. It leads to trust, in teammates and togetherness on the team. And it comes from, discipline, having the right mindset, having the right mental toughness to be able to sustain so that, you can elevate your game. And instead of somebody else trying to motivate you or something motivating you, how about you just focusing on what you need to do to get better so you can elevate your game without some external factor that, whether, somebody dogs you or whatever. And I think it's important that you learn from your mistakes. I think that's the best opportunity you have to learn. And this group's been pretty good about it. This is always a challenging week, but the guys have done a really, really good job the last couple days. We're working on some issues and problems that, may come up with some of our opponents during the season and probably start on the first game on Friday.
Coach, you've talked about a lot of guys working a lot of spots in the secondary. Just who are some guys that are getting maybe the most reps at star?
Malachi gets reps at star. Jalen gets reps at star. Earl gets reps at star. So those are probably the three primary guys. We're also training Terrion Arnold, to get some reps at star. So want to have 3 or 4 guys that can play it. You don't want to, really have an issue when one guy goes down and you got nobody else to play that spot.
I'm in the middle here with Matt.
What have you seen from Dallas Turner this camp?
Dallas has done great. I mean, he's been a really good leader. He set a good example. He's worked really hard. He's been very productive. And I think he's just done fantastic for us.
Up front here with Chase.
When Burton Burns was coaching your running backs, if I remember right, he'd say he liked the backs to just make one cut and then get upfield. If I'm remembering that right, is that something that still gets emphasized in the offense?
Well, I think you want people to run north and south. You want them to get their pads down. You don't want them to dance in the hole. But I think runners that are good runners, are instinctive. And when they should make cuts, when they should make lateral cuts, when they just need to burst through the hole when they have an opening. And I don't know if you can overcoach that, but, if you're going to run the ball effectively, guys got to know when to get their pads down and get north and south so you can have a 4-yard play and not maybe a negative yard play because they're trying to make something where there's nothing. And I really think that, our guys, all 4 of them, do a really good job of that.
Yes, Coach. I wonder if there's a downside when you have the quarterback position and the players taking a long time to separate themselves and make the decision for you, I guess, the way to put it.
Yeah, but that's kind of up to them. Like I said in here before, I told the quarterbacks, I said, quit looking around for me to make a decision about who's going to play. How about you playing good enough that I don't have a choice? That's what you can control. That's what you can do, and somebody needs to do that. And it's sort of, taking shape to some degree, but somebody's got to do it. And, where you all think that, like whoever we name as a starter for the first game, that's like the end of it. It's not the end of it. It's just the beginning. So what if a guy doesn't play good? He's not entitled to keep playing. And the guy that doesn't play is got every opportunity to practice and be more consistent and win the team over so that when he gets an opportunity to play, he plays really well. I mean, we have changed quarterbacks around here a few times during the season. So I know you guys are looking for an end, but it's not even going to be the end in the first game. You're looking at me kind of funny. Am I not explaining that very well?
I didn't explain it very well in my question, I suspect, but I was wondering about
Yeah, I know
the
that
time,
you
the
asked,
time,
and
the
I just
time.
don't want to answer it because
Okay.
we're going to make the best of it for our team, and our team has to make the best of it as well. So, and whoever plays the position, everybody's got to play well around them and do the best job that they can to help them play well.
Coach, where have you seen Tim Keenan make the most progress on the defensive line?
Yeah,
Keenan.
Tim has done a really good job. You know, he lost weight. He got in much better shape. He's moving a lot better. He's a lot quicker. He's always had a lot of explosive power. So he's been a really pleasant surprise in this camp to be a guy that's playing like a starter, actually.
Up front here with Nick.
How have you seen the defense progress from the beginning of fall camp to now as a whole?
I mean, I think just about every time something bad happens, and when I say bad happens, I'm talking about an explosive play. It's either about missed tackles or mental errors. And I think we've gotten better at eliminating, some of those. But one of the things I didn't think we did as well in the last scrimmage as the first scrimmage is tackle. And, that goes back to how you practice. We don't really ever and have never practiced where you tackle people in practice. But you have to thud them. All right, so you get in position to tackle the guy, you near leg your shoulder, you wrap the guy up, so you're always in position to tackle. And if you do that consistently, then when you have to tackle people, you're going to be in the right position. And that's something that we've really emphasized with our players, this week to try to improve the tackling.
Mike Rodak.
Just how has the transfer portal affected your ability to retain and develop some of the players that you've recruited at wide receiver in particular?
I don't know. I don't know who you're specifically, talking about, but guys are getting transfer portal. This is not for everybody. Okay, so maybe people that want to be here, want to be good, want to do the best they can, develop value for their future and who they are as a person, what kind of requirements we have for them to succeed academically so they can develop a career on the field, and what we're going to do to try to develop them on the field. And I think, I'm not mentioning any names, but there's only like one player that I was really disappointed that, the guy didn't stay here, and I couldn't understand why he was leaving. And, and all the rest of them, they would have contributed if they stayed and had the right attitude, but it's their choice. And, what we have an opportunity to do when guys leave is we have an opportunity to replace them too.
Okay, we've got two more, Austin and then Tony.
Yeah, Coach, a little different. With today being the first day of classes, what do you remember from your first day of school at Kent State?
Nothing. You know how many years ago that was?
1970.
Yeah, well. I will say this about the team. I told them last night, I said, I know tomorrow's your first day of college. I'm talking about everybody. College. You're going to college tomorrow. So most of the time, that really impacts the quality of practice that we have. But that wasn't the case today. They were focused and practiced and they were ready to go. And so, maybe it's online classes, I don't know. But I really don't remember much of anything about, the biggest thing I remember about going to college was the day my parents dropped me off at school and I felt like I was all alone and didn't know anybody in the world, and how difficult it was to sort of develop relationships and get started and figure out how do I fit in here and what do I need to do. So I remember that, but that wasn't the first day of class. And then I remember what happened on May 4th. That's probably the two things I remember the most.
What has Kaden Proctor shown you since joining the team, and how much progress has he made?
You know, he's shown me he's big, and he's made a lot of progress. He's improved a lot. He's got a lot of ability, and there's things that he needs to continue to work on, and obviously experience is going to help him. And when you get experience is a culmination of how do you learn from your mistakes, and that's what experience is. And and he's been pretty good about that. I think Booker playing next to him at left guard has helped him a lot, because it puts a veteran player next to him who gives him a little bit of security and making calls and that type of thing. So that's been a good thing for us.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Is that it? Oh, did I do okay today? I mean, I haven't asked you guys since I had my media training exactly how well I'm doing, so I just thought I'd.
We'll send Josh a report.
Fam, what's good? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube, coming to you on Wednesday night, talking after Nick Saban's strong message to the quarterback room. I want to get your take. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. Coach Saban with a strong message about the quarterbacks. Actually, let's just play it while you guys get checked in here. Here's Coach Saban today talking about the quarterbacks. Give me 1 second to bring it up.
I wonder if there's a downside when you have the quarterback position and the players taking a long time to separate themselves and make the decision for you, I guess, the way to put it.
Yeah, but that's kind of up to them. You know, like I said in here before, you know, I told the quarterbacks, I said, quit looking around for me to make a decision about who's going to play. How about you playing good enough that I don't have a choice? That's what you can control. That's what you can do, and somebody needs to do that. And it's sort of, you know, taking shape to some degree, but somebody's got to do it. And, you know, where you all think that, you know, like whoever we name as a starter for the first game, that's like the end of it. It's not the end of it. It's just the beginning. So what if a guy doesn't play good? He's not entitled to keep playing. And the guy that doesn't play is got every opportunity to practice and be more consistent and win the team over, so that when he gets an opportunity to play, he plays really well. I mean, we have changed quarterbacks around here a few times during the season. So I know you guys are looking for an end, but it's not even going to be the end in the first game. You're looking at me kind of funny. Am I not explaining that very well?
I didn't explain it very well in my question, I suspect, but I was wondering about
Yeah, I know that you asked, and I just don't want to answer it because
okay.
we're going to make the best of it for our team, and our team has to make the best of it as well. So, and whoever plays the position, everybody's got to play well around them and do the best job that they can to help them play well.
That's Coach Saban talking about the Alabama quarterback position. What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Definitely hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. What is your takeaways from Coach Saban's comments regarding the quarterback position? Here's something to kind of watch. I mean, I've been kind of telling you guys to expect a depth chart on Monday, and that might not be the case. I don't think that there's going to be a depth chart issued, and that's what it means. So I think we'll eventually get a depth chart at Alabama. These depth charts are, Coach Saban crazy because, here at Alabama, there's more than just offensive set of starters and defensive set of starters. But from what I understand, I don't really anticipate a depth chart being dropped this coming Monday. So we'll see if that happens, but kind of something to track as we look to this Alabama quarterback competition and continue to see what unfolds with this quarterback position. I think, to me, while I feel that it's going to be Jalen Milroe that takes the first snaps against Middle Tennessee, I mean, Coach Saban clearly said that, the cake is nowhere near being baked. And I guess in a way, it makes sense considering that it does take time for there to be, a cake to be ready. But this seems like this is going to go on all season, maybe to the middle of the season. And as he said that, Alabama has changed up the quarterback position late in the season during halftime of the national championship game. So maybe he just means that was a nice catch right there by Amari Niblack. Maybe he just means that, look, you gotta, like, no quarterback has taken the reins yet. No quarterback has proven that they can be that guy yet, which is, in my opinion, I just feel, the season is not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. We still don't know who the quarterback is at the University of Alabama. What kind of message do you think that is sending to his quarterback room? Sound off in the comment box, or better yet, you could call in. The phone line is open. Thanks, David, for the super chat. I appreciate it. He says Jake Pope going to be one to watch this coming season. Yeah, absolutely. Let's kind of look at these highlights. I'll break them down while we wait for everybody to get checked in. Let me know where you're coming from inside the comment box. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. We'll play some more Saban sound bites and kind of go through what he talked about this Wednesday. This will be, we will not hear from him on Saturday because Alabama does not have a scrimmage this Saturday. Alabama will start next week on Monday, back to their weekly schedule, which is Coach Saban on Monday at 12, and then Coach Saban on Wednesday and Coach Saban on Thursday with the coaches show, and then Coach Saban for post game following each weekly game. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Let's kind of rewind. What's up, AJ? I see you inside the comment box from Louisville. Let's look at this footage. I haven't even really broken it down yet, so let's kind of see what Alabama sent us today and kind of name out some players. I know there's, it's a new roster, and sometimes people like to see who we got going. So number 32 right there, that is Deontay Lawson. Deontay Lawson, very fine, tuned athlete that'll be playing at the inside linebacker position. And a lot of people are excited about him, and rightfully so, considering, he got a real good taste of, last season in the Sugar Bowl, and thought he looked really exceptional. Number 43 right there. That is Sean Murphy, a guy that we haven't necessarily talked too much about. And again, like when we get these highlights, or we're not talking about specific players, dang, Malachi, these guys are looking sharp. Number 40 right there, that is Kendrick Blackshire. Who was this just a second ago catching the football? Let's kind of rewind right there. I don't think it. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of this is okay. Oh, that's Sean Murphy. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, I saw that. I was like, that can't be Malachi Moore. See how it looks like a 13? Clearly it's not. It's a 43. And I was like, we're watching the inside linebackers right here as we break down the footage. What's up? I'm Hooks. I see you inside the comment box. And number 40, there's Kendrick Blackshire with some sort of a taped wrist, and getting a look at these inside linebackers. We haven't necessarily had too much footage from the inside linebackers, so appreciate Alabama sending that over. Here's a look at the quarterback's first footage of Ty Simpson. Does it mean that he's a starter? No. There's footage of Jalen Milroe. Does it mean he's a starter? I guess not. Coach Saban, to him, we still don't have necessarily a quarterback. Number 8 is the Notre Dame transfer, Tyler Buckner, who came over from Notre Dame and really had a good scrimmage this last week during Alabama's second scrimmage. There's Buckner connecting with Ja'Cory Brooks. Ja'Cory Brooks, a very talented wide receiver, returning for the 2023 season. Here's Jalen Milroe hooking up with Danny Lewis, a guy that I've hyped up a lot. Look, always these one-handed catches. Did you see that catch? Right? That's like the second time Danny Lewis has pulled in a one-handed snag. I like that one right there. I should have clipped that earlier. I didn't even see that. Amari Niblack going up and getting the football from Ty Simpson. And then this is CJ Dupree, who is number 81. Right here, we do have Tyler Buckner hooking up with, that is Robbie Oots. Yeah, good to see you, big old Robbie, catching the football. It's crazy to me that he weighs 260 pounds. I probably say that every single time I talk about him, but it's just impressive because he runs so well. Number 24, that's Emmanuel Henderson. Number 82, that is Jalen Hell, who's a wide receiver. He's a freshman. Number 7 is Ja'Cory Brooks. 89 is Ty Lockwood, who's a tight end at the University of Alabama. And number 84, as we've spoken about a lot of times, is Amari Niblack. Looks good right there. Can't wait to see if he can be that breakout tight end that Alabama has coming for this coming season. I'm going to pause it right here. We got a call. We got 2 calls. Phone line starting to light up. So let's get to work. Let's do work, fam. And I'll get back to the footage and we'll pipe in some Saban. But we'll take our 251 and we'll start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from? Hello? Oh, looks like we dropped it. 251. Here we go. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, man, it's Kevin in Mobile.
Kevin, what's up, man? Take it away. What's on your mind?
Oh, well, I was wanting to talk about the lack of tackling epidemic. And I hear the wide receivers ain't catching footballs very well. And I know why. I know why we ain't tackling good. And I don't know about the wide receivers. They should be able to catch a football. But the bottom line is this. Everybody and their mama on the football team wears gloves. Why? Why, Kyle? Why does everybody wear gloves?
Yeah, I think, it's kind of, when you look at the gloves for these particular players, I think, okay, a couple things. Number one, I think, sometimes like the technology of the gloves, like I played, look, this is probably going to date myself a little bit, but I played when there was like, remember the Newman gloves? And I got those from like Jerry Rice used to wear the Newman gloves. Gloves have kind of evolved. I think they also probably feel that, maybe it looks cool or whatever. I don't know. Here's Danny Lewis catching a one-handed snag with the glove on. Do you really think that gloves are affecting the way that they're catching footballs? Honestly, and I'm not being facetious here. I'm curious to know that if you think that's an issue.
I'm being dead serious when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
The lack of tackling is probably because of them gloves. I want you to do this. Stop what you're doing and go put a pair of gloves on and do the rest of the show in gloves. And tell me the next time I call you, and tell me the next time I call you if it's easier for you to work in them gloves or not. Okay? Another thing is this, man. Do you know how the human body works? When you wear gloves and put gloves over your body and you got all kind of stuff over your body is not properly ventilating. You know how much heat is trapped in wearing gloves? I just don't understand why. And tackling. How are you going to tackle with some gloves on? Take them little fairy gloves off. Go take your little fairy gloves off and be a man and go and tackle somebody. Go take your little gloves off that you want to look cute in and you want to look pretty in. Take them little boo-boo gloves off and go catch a football. Go tackle somebody. I want to see some Alabama football. I'm so glad the talking's almost done. But, yeah, I'm serious. Other callers can call in and they can say whatever they think about the subject. But I think that them gloves are a direct result of lack of tackling. You just, like I said, do the rest of the show in gloves and then let me know which way is easier.
I got
Roll
you.
Tide. Have a good one.
Roll Tide. Thanks, Kevin. What a leadoff call. Kevin hot on the gloves. Look, I ain't got the gloves on. But they've had gloves for quite some time. Remember the Newman gloves? And then there was like the Newman coaching gloves that I also wore. I actually used to coach the wide receiver. So I played wide receiver in high school. You can look at my highlights. Check them out. Let me know what you think. Call line is open 205-850-1994. To me, look, I think the dropped passes, like anytime I played wide receiver. So anytime I felt there was a drop, I feel it was on like lack of concentration because it's not hard to catch a football. I get it. If you're coming across the middle or whatever, you might have second thoughts because there's, Deontay Lawson or someone like that, but it's usually like lack of concentration or you lose it in the sun or, you start thinking about it when the ball's in the air because you're going to catch a touchdown, right? Those are the reasons that, look, I played wide receiver. I dropped passes, not a lot. But it happens. So, that's kind of, my take regarding tackling. I don't think gloves have anything to do with tackling. I think tackling is just, you got to wrap up. There's a proper way to do it. And you got to go out there and, kind of be a dog about it. And that's kind of how it goes. Call line is open 205-850-1994. All right, here we go. It's a 682 and we'll start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
This is Charles from Birmingham.
Charles, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us from Behan. What's on your mind, man?
All right. I just want to say that Jalen Milroe, I think it would be an excellent choice for him to be the starter because he's got that extra emphasis in the running game. Because people are going to have tougher time preparing for our offense with him at quarterback. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, the added ability of, we're on the line with Charles from Birmingham. Call-in line is open if you want to call in. I appreciate it. We got a couple lines open. Call-in line is 205-850-1994. I'll put it in the comment box. I think the added value that, Milroe is so dangerous with his feet. I mean, go back and watch some of the runs that he had against Arkansas or against Texas A&M. And I think a lot of people look at those particular games and they see the turnovers that he had or whatever. But I think, straight up, I mean, he's going to give Alabama an opportunity to win. And as Coach Saban said tonight, just because he basically said this is exactly what Saban said. He said, just because Jalen Milroe starts against Middle Tennessee doesn't mean that Jalen Milroe is going to be the starter for the rest of the season. That's exactly what he said, right? What else was he going to say? Right. So I think just because he is a starter, and like I said, I don't even think they're going to release the depth chart on Monday. So there's a couple things. Number one, I think they should release the depth chart, in my opinion. Like, these athletes at this level, if you're getting paid, you're basically a pro. You can be criticized. And if somebody's above you on the depth chart, why would that make you jump into the transfer portal? See, that's kind of what the world that we live in now, right? As if you're not listed as number one, you dip out. So I kind of hate the world that we've gotten to. Like, I feel that's kind of a soft mentality. Like, if you're not on the depth chart, like, work your ass off. Like, get better. Be the guy. Like, force Saban to play you. Like, that wouldn't bother me in the slightest. How many times, you don't think that, like, you don't think I see other competitors out there doing YouTube shows? You think I'm just going to quit? Right? Like, no, like, I work harder. I'm producing more content. That's the mindset that these people need to have. These players need to have. Like, Alabama should 100% be like, this is the starter, 100%. Beat him out. Force this guy to play you. But I don't understand why. Kind of like, I get it. It's like, force him to play you, but at the same time, it's like, let's make a decision. Let's go. But I mean, absolutely. Like, Jalen Milroe is, trouble to prepare for, just like Ty Simpson. The problem is you're not only preparing for Ty Simpson or Jalen Milroe, you're preparing for Alabama football. It's not a one position game. Like, you have to deal with the defense and the offense and the special teams and everything else. It's just like, I'm tired of, the back and forth quarterback competition. Like, somebody needs to just be named the quarterback. Everybody just shut up, go out there and beat Middle Tennessee State by 50 points and get on to Texas.
And also, I just want to say one thing. I think the defense for us is going to be very nasty this year. I'm thinking they're going to be playing around it all this year.
I mean, Kevin Steele, him coming in, I mean, I think he brings that mantra to, he wants to attack. He wants the guys to get after it. So, I'm tired of, like, all this talk. It's just like, it's annoying. Like, we need to focus on, like, these players I'm sure these players want to play just like I want to see them play too. It's like, you get into that point of fall camp where you're just so tired of, like, playing against each other and stuff like that. You just want another opponent. Today I was trying to find who to contact for, if you're out there, for Middle Tennessee football, like, who covers a newspaper. Go ahead. If there's somebody that can research it and help me. I looked for like an hour. I don't even know who covers the program. This game is silly that they're playing Middle Tennessee, to be honest. Anyways, Charles, anything else before I move to the next caller?
No, that's good. Roll Tide and keep up the good work.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks. Charles calling in from Birmingham. It was probably like more of me talking than Charles, but you get what I'm saying? It's just like, I mean, we're getting to that point in fall camp. You remember, like, when you played football, there were so many times you just, like, you're tired of doing the same thing. You're, like, actually ready for a game. National Champions is saying we'll beat Middle Tennessee by 26 points or more. What's the line on this game? I haven't even looked it up. I'm sure it's like 28 points. I would imagine that Saban calls the dogs off without calling all the do right? And do you think we're going to see 2 quarterbacks in this game or 3 quarterbacks? Honestly, because sometimes Saban doesn't take out the starters. Let's play that clip again and just kind of go over what Saban said real quick, and then I'll get to my next call. Actually, we'll bring in my next caller, and then we'll go back to Saban. So it's a 662. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, man? My name's Caleb. I'm from Caledonia, Mississippi.
Caleb from Mississippi, man. Go ahead, man. Take it away.
Man, I wanted to call about the whole quarterback situation. I feel like I don't know. Ty Simpson. I was thinking about it earlier today. He's kind of giving me Blake Barnett vibes. You know what I mean? He has that look in his eye. Even on practice film where I've seen him, he has that deer in the headlights look. Even in an 8A game, I mean, he looks decent, but this is probably the weirdest quarterback competition I've ever seen in my life. Milroe, he is so gifted, man. He's jacked. He's the fastest guy on the field. He can literally take it to the house, and he hits full stride immediately. I mean, his acceleration is instant. He's a taller Jalen Waddle, and he just has problems with his accuracy, man. It's just every time Jalen would drop back to throw the ball, I would hold my breath, and when it was an interception, it was just horrible. It wasn't even near the guy. I don't know if it was nerves. I get it. He only played in 2 games, and a guy can improve. But Ty Simpson, there was so much hype. I mean, even, everybody thought it was a shoo-in coming into this year, right? I mean, Ty Simpson, the 5-star phenom freshman coming out of high school, he just has that look in his eye. I've never seen that man once look confident in practice. Every time he throws it, he has a clean release. I love his release, but it looks like he doesn't look comfortable. Milroe doesn't look comfortable. Milroe, I think he might have trouble reading at defense, or he kind of has, Jalen had that problem for a little bit, and now he's great in the NFL, but Jalen used to like to sit in the pocket. If he didn't see his first read immediately, he would dip out. And Jalen can do that a little bit better. Jalen Milroe can do that a little bit better. He's faster, but this quarterback conversation, man, it's creeping me out. So I think for this year, I think it's going to be a lot of Justice Haynes, a lot of Jason McClellan, a lot of Roydale Williams, and it's going to be a couple play action bombs over the top. That's my opinion. I wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I like you. It is creeping me out, right? Because it's like we had the whole Jalen and Tua one, but this is way weirder because you would have the guy coming back with some experience. So you have a guy with no experience, and then you have a guy in Tyler Buckner with some experience but played for a different school that is less talented than Alabama, right? So it's been strange. I mean, and we've been talking about this since really Bryce left. I mean, at this point, I don't care who the quarterback is going to be against Middle Tennessee because that game is going to be, we all know what's going to happen in that game. There's some rat poison for you guys. But like Jim is saying inside the comment box, he's like, Saban almost hinted that the quarterback beating Middle Tennessee could be different than the one Texas faces. You imagine that?
Exactly.
I think that's what very well could be the case. I mean, people close to the program have said that to me. Well, let's decipher what that means. Okay, so Jalen Milroe starts and he plays the game. And what happens if Jalen Milroe throws for 4 touchdowns, rushes for 2? The headlines read, Milroe leads Alabama past Middle Tennessee, scores 6 touchdowns. And then does that mean going into Texas will face Ty Simpson with no game experience? That certainly can't be the case. So more than likely what that is telling us that Milroe starts, he plays, he scores 4 touchdowns, Alabama's up 28-0, and then you sub in Ty Simpson. Is that, Caleb, is that how you're reading it too?
Well, there's that saying, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. So, and let's be real, it's Middle Tennessee State, and we're Alabama. We could have me or you go out there and play quarterback. We hand the ball off to Haynes and McClellan 50 times. We're going to win the game by 30. So I don't care who goes out there the first game. They're going to dominate. And like I said, I think we're going to be a running team this year. But the real test is, nobody's going to have confidence after beating Middle Tennessee State by 50. That's not something to feel good about. When Texas rolls into town, them boys better be on their game because Texas, after last year, they're going to want to feast. Whether it's Simpson or Milroe, they've got to get it together, dude. Because Milroe, at times, he's fast, but he can't hit the broadside of a barn. When that man drops back and throws a bass, I get scared for my life. And I haven't seen enough of Simpson, but there's something obviously wrong because we all saw. I'm not calling Milroe bad because he's not bad, but he's not a good passer. Since I've seen So there's something going on with Tide that's not being talked about, that he hasn't at least like that it's this close. So I don't know what's going to happen when Texas comes into town, but I think, like I said, that, you know, it's going to be a lot of play action, and we're too deep at running back for Saban not to just pound the rock, maybe hit the play action. But the sad part is we got so many playmakers at receiver, man. We got to get somebody to get them the ball.
And they got to catch the ball too, right?
Yeah, Print Bond. I mean, I'm so heavy on Bond, man. I think if one wide receiver is going to break out, it's going to be Bond. Dude he's super fast. Him and Prentice and Brooks, them three alone. If we can just get somebody to hit those short to medium passes, just get them the ball in space. They can do the rest. We don't need a 2nd and 26 type throw. You know what I mean? We need a quick slant, and they can take it to the crib. So it's just, I don't know. Simpson, he needs to get over the nerves. And Milroe, he needs to, you know, get a little bit more accurate. And, you know, I don't know how much improvement they've made. Obviously, you know, I'm just a casual viewer. I love your show. I watch it, you know, all the time. I try to keep up with it as much as I can, but it's just been, I've just been keeping my eye on this whole quarterback situation throughout the summer, and it just seems like it hasn't moved. And if anything, it's gotten worse and it's gotten weirder. But I would love to be a fly on the wall in that quarterback room. We all know it's going to be Milroe. It's going to be Milroe that starts. We all know that 100%. The question is, what's going to happen against Texas? So I guess we're going to wait and find out. I don't know. But like I said, Simpson, you know, Blake Barnett, you know how he looked against USC back in 2017? That's what he's reminding me of. Blake Barnett looked like a deer in headlights when he came out that first drive, and that's when he put in Jalen. So I don't know, man. I hope we get it done this year and can find a quarterback that can at least hit his targets and the receivers can catch the passes. But I think we're so deep at running back, it really is not going to matter too much. But you just can't ignore Milroe in that fifth gear that he's got, man, with those wheels. That's almost irreplaceable with almost any arm that you bring in. So that's just my 2 cents, man. I wanted to hear what anybody else had to say about that. And we'll probably getting sick of hearing about the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all kind of are, but in a way, like we all kind of like it. It's kind of like that weird, you know, dichotomy that we go through. So anyways, man, I appreciate you calling in. I'm going to get to my next caller. And anytime, Caleb, you want to chime in, man, hit me up. Cool?
All right, man. Cool. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you, man. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, or just put the Venmo link inside the comment box. I really appreciate all the tips, all the support. You can hit the join button under this video to become a fan funder. You can also super chat. So everything else, I really appreciate. This is what I do for a living. This is how I put food on the table for a 14-year-old and 10-year-old. So thank you very much for all the support. I'll get to my next call in just a second. It's a 334. We'll get to you in just 1 minute. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. That was Caleb from Mississippi. He made me laugh. He's like, this quarterback competition is creeping me out. It's kind of creeping me out too, right? I'm tired of talking about it. It's like that. What are we going to talk about from the quarterback if Alabama ever finds a quarterback? And then after Alabama plays Texas, then what are we going to talk about, right? Future storylines to, gripe about coming up next on Bama Football on YouTube. All right, here we go. 334, and we'll start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Nate Dogg from Alabama. I just wanted to say a couple things.
Nate, go ahead. Nate, I think we lost him. Regulators, mount up. Let's see. Hey, Nate, go ahead, man. I think we lost. Is this Nate? No, this isn't Nate. We lost Nate. New caller. Who on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is David from behind enemy lands in Louisiana.
David from Louisiana. I know you're from behind enemy lines. Give us your take on another quarterback, I guess, topic or whatever, after Saban tonight says, another force me to play or whatever, kind of the message was.
Well, maybe our quarterback should wear gloves so they won't throw interceptions. I'm just joking about that. But anyways, as far as quarterback goes, I don't care who starts. You already know how I feel about it. We've talked about it before. Like I said, it could be a dwarf, a midget, whatever. As long as they're accurate, don't throw a bunch of interceptions, don't cause a bunch of turnovers, and can move the ball down the field. I don't care who starts. Nick Saban knows. I don't think Nick Saban really wants the whole country to know until it's game day. He might start Dylan Lonergan the first game of the year against this little rinky-dink cupcake we played the first game, and then shock the whole world by putting in Ty Simpson as a starter or Buckner or whoever. We don't know. We just get what little bit of intel that people that are inside the program leak out or is allowed to say. And Saban, he's like a bear trap. He ain't going to tell nobody diddly squat until it's time or it's just too late, Now, I'm big on this young guy. I call him Pretty Boy Jake Pope, all right, because he looks like a pretty boy. But the dude, from what I've seen, especially in the spring game when he rocked Jermaine Burton, this kid is going to be something special. I gave you the $2 chat earlier and told you, watch out. I think he's going to be special. Now, he did play in high school both sides of the ball. I watched him, some footage of him when he was in high school, catching the ball and making space and stuff like that. The dude's pretty quick. The dude can run pretty fast for a white boy. He can move. But I believe he's going to be one of those that's going to creep up. And I'm not saying he's going to take a starting position, but I believe he's going to be a difference maker on the team when he gets playing time, because you could just tell in that spring game that he was trying to make a statement. Look at me, look at me, look at me. You remember a guy by the name of Marcel Darius, whenever he played in the national championship game against Texas, 2 weeks before that game, I watched an interview with him. 2 weeks before that game, he said he told Coach Saban, you put me in that game and I will be the difference maker. Just give me that opportunity, Coach, and I will be the difference maker of that game. And what did he do? And he had just turned 18 years old, like a couple of days before, or he enrolled early from what I've read and I've heard and everything else. He was just like 18 years old. And 2 weeks before the national championship game, he comes, tells Coach Saban that. And I believe that's what Coach Saban is wanting. He's wanting the dog. He's wanting one of his quarterbacks to step up and make a separation between the others where they can't even compete or even come close. But they've got to remember, whoever is second string or third string or whatever the case may be, they've got to be prepared. And that was one of the biggest things whenever Bryce got hurt last year in that Arkansas game, and we had to put in Milroe. He wasn't I'm not going to say wasn't physically prepared. He wasn't mentally prepared for what was coming at him, because he never thought in a million years that it would happen, that Bryce would get hurt and he'd have to come in. He didn't think that. He was probably thinking in the back of his mind that I won't start until he leaves this school. Look what happened with Tua when he got his foot hurt. And Jalen Hurts came in and beat Georgia for the SEC championship. He was mentally prepared because he knew, yes, he was a starter before, but he knew that chance could always arise, and I'm going to take it by the reins, and I'm going to do what I have to do for my team. And that's what these quarterbacks and defensive backs, linemen, linebackers, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, water boy, assistant coach, whatever, you have got to be one step ahead, because it doesn't matter who you are, what position you have, whether it's a quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, running back, or whatever you play, or even a bag boy at your local grocery store, there's always going to be someone better than you that's going to step in and take control and put you on that hardwood bench sitting over there on the sideline and you crying. So with that being said, I'm done with my rant. I don't care who's the quarterback, as long as they prepared and they're ready to rock and roll and bring us to a national championship. Everybody just needs to chill out. And I know it's a stressful thing, but Coach Saban knows what he's doing. He's just not going to put anybody in there that don't know that he don't feel comfortable with. Coach Saban and the staff has everything under control. With that being said, God bless every one of you. God bless this country. Love y'all. Roll Tide. Good night.
All right, that was our good buddy David calling from behind enemy lines in Louisiana. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. 205-850-1994. Call line is open. We're talking about the Alabama quarterbacks. Let me play that clip real quick of Coach Saban, and then we can kind of decipher, a little bit more, what he was talking about. It's such a good soundbite. Give me 1 second. I got to remove myself. Add Coach. Just give me 1 second while
Coach, where have you seen Tim Keenan make the most progress on the defense?
Yes, Coach. I wonder if there's a downside when you have the quarterback position and the players taking a long time to separate themselves and make the decision for you, I guess, the way to put it.
Yeah, but that's kind of up to them. Like I said in here before, I told the quarterbacks, I said, quit looking around for me to make a decision about who's going to play. How about you playing good enough that I don't have a choice? That's what you can control. That's what you can do, and somebody needs to do that. And it's sort of, taking shape to some degree, but somebody's got to do it. And where you all think that, like whoever we name as a starter for the first game, that's like the end of it. It's not the end of it. It's just the beginning. So what if a guy doesn't play good? He's not entitled to keep playing. And the guy that doesn't play is got every opportunity to practice and be more consistent and win the team over so that when he gets an opportunity to play, he plays really well. I mean, we have changed quarterbacks around here a few times during the season. So I know you guys are looking for an end, but it's not even going to be the end in the first game. You're looking at me kind of funny. Am I not explaining that very well?
You ever seen Goodfellas, right? Like that part, like, what do you call me? You calling me a clown, right? Like that's like Saban right there. I'm gonna get back to it because Saban did mention something about the wide receivers. Which wide receiver do you think he was talking about when he said that one of the wide receivers left out into the transfer portal? For me, I'll tell you right after my take, but which wide receiver do you think Saban was kind of questioning? We'll play that soundbite next.
I mean, I think just about every time something bad happens, and when I say bad happens, I'm talking about an explosive play. It's either about
ability to retain and develop some of the players that you've recruited at wide receiver in particular.
I don't know. I don't know who you're specifically, talking about, but guys are getting transfer portal. This is not for everybody. Okay, so maybe people that want to be here, want to be good, want to do the best they can, develop value for their future and who they are as a person, what kind of requirements we have for them to succeed academically so they can develop a career on the field, and what we're going to do to try to develop them on the field. And I think, I'm not mentioning any names, but there's only like one player that I was really like disappointed that, the guy didn't stay here, and I couldn't understand why he was leaving. And, and all the rest of them, they would have contributed if they stayed and had the right attitude, but it's their choice. And, what we have an opportunity to do when guys leave is we have an opportunity to replace them too.
I think he was talking about, in my opinion, he was talking about Aaron Anderson. But a lot of people are talking about, like, look, JoJo Earl could have been one of them. Could have been Christian Leary. Could add Scott. Alice saying JoJo Earl as well. What about this one? What about Ajay Hall? Just kidding. Do you think he was talking about Ajay Hall? Remember Ajay Hall when he came? But what was crazy is when Ajay Hall caught pass. People were like excited, and then he dropped the pass. That was a dumpster fire, right? When the child was there. Oh my goodness, that was wild. Back to the highlights, and we'll take our next call, and we'll take it right now. It's a 601. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
How's it going, Kyle? This is Jay from Pensacola. Well, currently a truck driver on the road, but coming through Atlanta.
All right,
Crazy
man.
traffic.
Jay
But,
from Pensacola on the road. We appreciate you calling in. Be safe. We care about you.
How you guys doing today? Good. Well, I think, the message to the players after the scrimmage was, now's the time to get ready for the season. Every practice is important. Every game is important. Got to get ready for the task at hand, develop the right habits. It leads to confidence. It leads to trust, in teammates and togetherness on the team. And it comes from, discipline, having the right mindset, having the right mental toughness to be able to sustain so that, you can elevate your game. And instead of somebody else trying to motivate you or something motivating you, how about you just focusing on what you need to do to get better so you can elevate your game without some external factor that, whether, somebody dogs you or whatever. And I think it's important that you learn from your mistakes. I think that's the best opportunity you have to learn. And this group's been pretty good about it. This is always a challenging week, but the guys have done a really, really good job the last couple days. We're working on some issues and problems that, may come up with some of our opponents during the season and probably start on the first game on Friday.
Coach, you've talked about a lot of guys working a lot of spots in the secondary. Just who are some guys that are getting maybe the most reps at star?
Malachi gets reps at star. Jalen gets reps at star. Earl gets reps at star. So those are probably the three primary guys. We're also training Terrion Arnold, to get some reps at star. So want to have 3 or 4 guys that can play it. You don't want to, really have an issue when one guy goes down and you got nobody else to play that spot.
What have you seen from Dallas Turner this camp?
Dallas has done great. I mean, he's been a really good leader. He set a good example. He's worked really hard. He's been very productive, and I think he's just done fantastic for us.
When Burton Burns was coaching your running backs, if I remember right, he'd say he liked the backs to just make one cut and then get upfield. If I'm remembering that right, is that something that still gets emphasized in the offense?
Well, I think you want people to run north and south. You want them to get their pads down. You don't want them to dance in the hole. But I think runners that are good runners, are instinctive. And when they should make cuts, when they should make lateral cuts, when they just need to burst through the hole when they have an opening. And I don't know if you can overcoach that, but, if you're going to run the ball effectively, guys got to know when to get their pads down and get north and south so you can have a 4-yard play and not maybe a negative yard play because they're trying to make something where there's nothing. And I really think that, our guys, all 4 of them, do a really good job of that.
Yes, Coach. I wonder if there's a downside when you have the quarterback position and the players taking a long time to separate themselves and make the decision for you, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, but that's kind of up to them. Like I said in here before, I told the quarterbacks, I said, quit looking around for me to make a decision about who's going to play. How about you playing good enough that I don't have a choice? That's what you can control. That's what you can do, and somebody needs to do that. And it's sort of, taking shape to some degree, but somebody's got to do it. And, where you all think that, like whoever we name as a starter for the first game, that's like the end of it. It's not the end of it. It's just the beginning. So what if a guy doesn't play good? He's not entitled to keep playing. And the guy that doesn't play is got every opportunity to practice and be more consistent and win the team over so that when he gets an opportunity to play, he plays really well. I mean, we have changed quarterbacks around here a few times during the season. So I know you guys are looking for an end, but it's not even going to be the end in the first game. You're looking at me kind of funny. Am I not explaining that very well?
I didn't explain it very well in my question, I suspect, but I was wondering about
Yeah, I know what you asked, and I just don't want to answer it because we're going to make the best of it for our team, and our team has to make the best of it as well. So, and whoever plays the position, everybody's got to play well around them and do the best job that they can to help them play well.
Coach, where have you seen Tim Keenan make the most progress on the defensive line? Keenan.
Tim has done a really good job. He lost weight. He got in much better shape. He's moving a lot better. He's a lot quicker. He's always had a lot of explosive power. So he's been a really pleasant surprise in this camp to be a guy that's playing like a starter, actually.
How have you seen the defense progress from the beginning of fall camp to now as a whole?
I mean, I think just about every time something bad happens, And when I say bad happens, I'm talking about an explosive play. It's either about missed tackles or mental errors. And I think we've gotten better at eliminating, some of those. But one of the things I didn't think we did as well in the last scrimmage as the first scrimmage is tackle. And, that goes back to how you practice. We don't really ever and have never practiced where you tackle people in practice. But you have to thud them. All right, so you get in position to tackle the guy, you near leg your shoulder, you wrap the guy up, so you're always in position to tackle. And if you do that consistently, then when you have to tackle people, you're going to be in the right position. And that's something that we've really emphasized with our players, this week to try to improve the tackling.
Just how has the transfer portal affected your ability to retain and develop some of the players that you've recruited at wide receiver in particular?
I don't know. I don't know who you're specifically, talking about, but guys are getting transfer portal. This is not for everybody. Okay, so maybe people that want to be here, want to be good, want to do the best they can, develop value for their future and who they are as a person, what kind of requirements we have for them to succeed academically so they can develop a career on the field, and what we're going to do to try to develop them on the field. And I think, I'm not mentioning any names, but there's only like one player that I was really disappointed that, the guy didn't stay here, and I couldn't understand why he was leaving. And, and all the rest of them, they would have contributed if they stayed and had the right attitude, but it's their choice. And, what we have an opportunity to do when guys leave is we have an opportunity to replace them too.
Hey, what's up, fam? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up if the audio is coming okay. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Here on this fine Thursday morning, we have player interviews that will take place later on at 12 p.m. Call-in line is open. I will get that call-in line number posted on the screen. Yesterday was an opportunity to hear from Coach Saban. I like the soundbite regarding the transfer portal and kind of the NIL, and kind of all that space that has now been added to college football. And Coach Saban saying, look, you guys want to leave, we can clearly replace you. And I think that Coach Saban has done a really good job, going into the transfer portal and bringing over guys that can contribute. Yesterday, we talked with Coach Smook on a great call and a video you can watch right here on YouTube, talking about that Jalen Key and Trey Amos are guys who are going to contribute from the get-go on the defensive side of the ball. So we know that the players that were exited, that lost, that Alabama did lose from the secondary were quickly replaced with guys who have come in from UAB and, Louisiana Lafayette and are going to be starters here at Alabama or contributing starters for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Call-in line is open. I actually wanted to go over a couple notes because this weekend we do have finally some college football to talk about, right? So let's look at some of these games that are taking place and kind of go over. This is on Vegas Insider. And if you're not familiar with lines or whatever, I'll kind of explain it to you how it goes. So you can go to Vegas Insider. This is a screenshot from their website. And basically the minus right now, it says bet now. That means that Notre Dame is favored by 20.5 points. Right, so that's how you would bet on that game. Is Notre Dame going to cover it, and that's called the spread. So Notre Dame versus Navy, that is taking place on the 26th at 1:30 p.m. Notre Dame is, basically the 3-touchdown favorite. So if you're betting this game, do you think that Notre Dame is going to beat Navy by 3 touchdowns? They have Sam Hartman. Navy is sometimes a tough out, and for whatever reason, that's a weird rivalry game. So I'm actually going to say yes, Notre Dame will cover, but probably be a little bit close. I don't feel too confident in that particular matchup. You also have UTEP taking on Jacksonville State. That's a game close at home right here in Tuscaloosa, or close to Tuscaloosa. 4:30 on the 26th, UTEP. They have a pretty good quarterback. That should be a really entertaining game if you're able to watch it. I don't know. I mean, UTEP coming up here, I have no idea. That's kind of a toss-up. As you can see, it's only 1.5, so I'm not too sure about that one. How about this one? New Mexico State taking on UMass. And again, call line is open, 205-850-1994. I'll be back later on today with player interviews at 12 p.m. We have one more opportunity to talk to the players before next week, before we get into next week's official week 1. New Mexico State, I think you got to take the Aggies, right? That's if you don't know, like that's where I went to school. I went to the university in New Mexico State, and also went to Central College in Pella, Iowa, and then also went to the Washington Center out in D.C. So I lived in a bunch of different places, but New Mexico State very close to me. So hosting UMass, I think that game is on ESPN. So yeah, I will take the Aggies roll. Aggies roll. The crazy thing is, when I lived here, since I've lived here now 6 years, New Mexico State has actually came to play up in Tuscaloosa twice, and really, Alabama has saved New Mexico State's entire program because of the payouts that they have paid New Mexico State. So I don't think New Mexico State would have survived COVID if they didn't come up here and take the big payday against Alabama. Pretty crazy to think about. Okay, Ohio State and San Diego State. I like San Diego State. Feel confident in that one. Take them, by a touchdown for sure. And then Hawaii flying all the way to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt at a stadium that is under construction. And you got to take, I don't know. I guess Vanderbilt, right? I mean, that's a long trip. I would take the under on that. I think for whatever reason, that game will probably be a little, who knows? Those are that's a weird matchup. And then USC taking on San Jose State. Oh yeah. I think USC rolls it up definitely on San Jose State. I mean, so many weapons on that squad. And let's see, Louisiana Tech is taking on Florida International. I don't really know about that one. And then some of these other games are locked. And how it works, basically more games as we go forward will be added to that slate. So just wanted to kind of run through the week 1 college football schedule. Another thing that I like to do is actually prize picks. So prize picks is basically over under for particular players. And what that means is you can go to prize picks, and I'm not sponsored by these guys or anything like that, but when you go to prize picks, and they have a pretty good website that you can navigate, you basically can navigate through NFL, Major League Baseball, or college football. And for example, this one right here is Dak Prescott. Will he have, let's see, this is passing yards, so you can navigate through rushing yards. So let's just look at Derrick Henry real quick. So Derrick Henry, for September 10th against New Orleans, it's saying, is he going to rush for more than 93.5 yards, right, against New Orleans? So you can select him and make your pick. Same thing with Bijan Robinson over here for Atlanta. See if there's any other. Christian McCaffrey, that's a guy that I would probably say, is he going to run for more than 61 yards against the Steelers? Oof, I don't know. And then Jalen Hurts, is he going to run for more than 45.5 yards against New England? Right? So those are actually, prize picks is pretty cool. They actually have college football, so let's check out college football just for this week. So Sam Hartman playing against Navy, is he going to throw for more than 240? I'd say absolutely. Gavin Hardison for UTEP is going to throw for more than 215 for sure. Those are easy ones. So I would say yes. And then my boy Diego for 175 against UMass. Yeah, for sure. And then, so you got Caleb Williams down here. Will he throw for more than 299 against San Jose State? So I'm going to select him. And then what you do is you just go here to the right and you just pick more or less. So Gavin Hardison, we said more. Sam Hartman, more. Diego, more. And then Caleb Williams, say less. Place your bet, and that's kind of how it works. So that's prize picks. Call-in line is open. 205-850-1994 is a call-in line number. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. And when we talk about, this particular team, let me bring up, the team practicing yesterday, just so we can have it as some B-roll in the background. I think, there's a lot of bigger storylines than, well, not bigger storylines, but there are storylines that, are coming up outside of the quarterback play. And one of the things that people were talking about is, did you see this clip? I want you to watch. I want to pause this clip real quick. Let me enlarge the screen. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. You're going to see Tresman Marshall, number 28. Just look at him from an athletic standpoint. It's coming up. You're going to see number 28 right here hit the bag. This is Deontay Lawson, number 32, but you're going to see 28 hit the bag as well. Here, I think it's coming up here. That's Blackshire, number 40. Okay, that was him right there. So a lot of people are talking about Tresman Marshall outside of week 1, and rightfully so. I mean, he's a transfer in. And when you look to that interior linebacker spot, there's guys who are competing right now. Jahad Campbell, I would probably say Tresman Marshall has that slight edge over him at this point, but I think it's going to be close. And then you have, other guys. That's Sean Murphy right there. He's looked really good. This is Kendrick Blackshire. Probably guys that are in that 2 deep. And just because you're in the 2 deep at Alabama doesn't mean anything bad, right? I mean, it's good to be up in the 2 deep. Here's Ty Simpson. And as Coach Saban said yesterday, look, you got to force him to play you, right? You got to get on the field. You want to get on the field? Well, make it hard for Coach Saban to get you off the field. And I think a lot of the comments yesterday regarding the quarterback position are the fact that, it's a long season and the starter doesn't dictate the player who's going to end the season as a starter. He's never really had that message, to be honest. I mean, it's always kind of been that this is the quarterback going in. I mean, this is one of the most highly touted quarterback battles that we've had here at Alabama. And I think kind of the writing is on the wall, as we talked about, that Jalen Milroe is going to be that guy that starts against Middle Tennessee. But, we're just going to have to see kind of what transpires throughout the season and going into that Texas game. And as I said last night and on previous shows, look, that game against Middle Tennessee is confusing because Alabama's going to run right through them, right? And then what is that going to leave us? What is that going to tell us going into a very marquee game against Texas? So call line is open, 205-850-1994. I will be back at 12 with player interviews right here on the YouTube channel. And I appreciate all the support. So hit me up with a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and I'll be back with another video. I'm excited, man. Like, the season is so close. You can taste it. So coming to you this morning from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube, and I will catch you guys at 12.